Hi everybody. Uh, I figured to use a different approach since I have this channel on YouTube. I haven't been able to really take the time to make some videos, like really focus on making some videos and share some of the important things that I would think that they're important to be shared. So I figured to use my phone and see how it works. Not so much of into a lot of technology, although I used to be, but the technology just changed so quickly that I just can't really catch up now. So the one thing I feel pretty comfortable is to be able to use the phone. So what I'm doing right now, I'm using my phone and create a video and upload and see how it goes. Not so much on the video editing, so I hope that you guys can hear me pretty well. I hope so. Um, I use Facebook, Facebook Live here and there, so I figure like, well, why not just make myself more comfortable about, you know, using different platforms, I guess. So here I am. So what I would like to talk about, uh, basically I talked about it on my Facebook page earlier, One Love, One Mind. Obviously, you can see my channel is also One Love, One Mind because it's pretty much the main focus on the oneness. So let's talk about oneness. There's a reason why you're watching this, possibly because of the name of the channel, and possibly because just uh, the topic itself, oneness. Are there differences between the channel name and then the topic name? Technically, not really, right? Uh, at somewhat level, we must agree that this is something that we know um, in our core being that we are all one together. I hope so. Otherwise, you won't be watching this video. If it sounds really like a ridiculously nonsense to you, you should stop this video and just click on something else, something more fancy pantsy and really nice pictures and graphics and interesting topics that that you find interesting. But if you choose to stay on this is just a sharing. So I think that I'm making this YouTube or social media platform, like just in general, to be a way to communicate, a way to share. Perhaps at some point I'll be able to figure out what to and how to be able to connect to the rest of the people, all the beautiful souls around the world, whether it's using Facebook or something else. I am still going through my brainstorm process, so to speak. So, oneness. It is extremely important for us to remember, simply just to remember. Oneness is not just a word that we talk about. Oneness is not just to find a definition to define it. Whenever we talk about oneness, this is a full on, unique experience. It's very unique to each individual. Let's just call that individual only because we're still living in this three-dimensional world. However, why I have to emphasize on the experience, because often enough, when we learn something, we access this part of our body, which is our brain. We're so used to think. In fact, we are trained to think critically. For the most part, not everybody is doing it. And so if you are thinking about our own personal experience in our life since we were little, we were in school. Of course, once again, why do we go to school? Is because we are supposed to learn, acquire knowledge, right? So that requires our brain. The brain function as a processor, right? Agree? It's the CPU in our body. So since we were trained to do that, we are simply operating on what we are taught. And something that we have innately, meaning we have the ability to experience the divinity in ourselves. In other words, every single one of us has the divinity within ourselves. Whenever we talk about a person who is doing something ridiculously impossible, whether it's right or wrong according to our books, we often easily taking on our own liberty to share our opinions about certain things happen, how people behave, right? We're accustomed to do it, we're trained to do it, we're conditioned to do that, okay? So now we have to become more aware of the fact that the oneness plays a big part. For us to perceive the truth, what is going on in our world, we have to become more aware of what's going on around us. So the more we can tap into the oneness, meaning the more we can experience the oneness, the easier for us to be able to have the discernment to see beyond what we are seeing in our world. In other words, the monkey brain, the subconscious mind. So I'm not going to talk about subconscious mind right now, because as a hypnotherapist, I can take a long period of time just to talk about how the subconscious mind works. Okay, so let's just kind of understand that subconscious mind plays a big part in our behavioral pattern. Okay, let's leave it that way. Okay, simple. So what I'm trying to say is that the oneness, be able to experience the oneness, is the key to allow us to be our authentic self. The oneness is also all-encompassing, allowing us not only to be authentic self, but also be able to experience the deep sense of peace, the ability to be the love and light that we all talk about, the compassion. So oneness is not something that you can read, you can define, or look it up on a dictionary, or look it up on google.com. Okay, so we are remembering how to get back into this experience that we all have the capability to have. So it is extremely important to remember that when we talk about spirituality, we're mainly talking about our awareness, our level of awareness of our own divinity. When we're able to do that, we'll realize everything happens around us, among us, in us. They're all connected. The divinity is not only in certain individuals just because so-and-so is doing some amazing work, and that must be God sent. And then the other person's, it's creating the turmoil and chaos and hurting people, have done some heinous, craziest crimes that we cannot even understand and imagine. Those are the devils. No. So to be able to remove the veil that separate us from the good and the evils, that's actually the monkey brain talking, because we often to filter what we are seeing based upon our belief system, whatever that is, whatever that means to you. So everybody has his or her own belief system since we were born. We've been programmed to do that, okay? One way or the other, whether you're aware of it, whether you like it or not, okay? So to go from all separated entities thinking, individuality thinking, right? All those thought forms are not really conducive to what we want to experience, that oneness. So It would take some practice to allow us to remember who we truly are. So, once again, you cannot think and ponder upon oneness for us to be able to know what oneness is. The oneness is literally something we must experience. It's a very much, let's just use the word visceral experience. That's something that you cannot even find the proper words to describe. But then it's absolutely truthful. In other words, what is our purpose? Our purpose, living in this world. Well, I know many people would tell me their purpose is my purpose is what I'm supposed to do. But the ultimate, the common denominator is to be freely, allow ourselves to go back to our authentic self, meaning self-realization, to realize who we are and be who we are while we are in this three-dimensional physical body here, right? This is my sacred vessel to allow me to shine my light, which is part of my higher self, my authentic self, while I'm still in this three-dimensional world. And how to do that? There's so many different ways to do it. It's not just about religion or not religion. There's so many different ways. It doesn't have to involve religions. It's just somehow religion's always involved in our human civilization, that's all. That doesn't mean it has to involve religion. Just remember that, right? Oneness is not a concept. Oneness is not an idea. Oneness is not a theory. Oneness is the absolute truth existing in the duality, in this dimension, in this reality. It's something that we know it's there, but we must seek within and experience that oneness in order for us to be able to remember and know what the next step might be, so that we can succeed at whatever fulfillment we are pursuing, whatever accomplishments we want to do. That's what it's all about. And when we realize there's no separateness, just imagine, take a moment, just imagine we all are able to realize who we are and be able to experience that deep, deep, deep down in the core self in each of us, to realize we're all in the same boat. The light bulb, not the Christmas light bulb, but the brilliant divine light being as a collective. How beautiful can that be? Just imagine that. Everybody at the very instant remember exactly who we are, what we are, where we come from, and where we're going, with or without this body. How beautiful is that? It's beautiful. So anyhow, that's it for now. We'll talk about oneness and we'll see what comes up next. When I have something want to share, I will share on this. And let's see if I can upload this video first. I'm not going to do any editing and editing all this stuff yet. I'm not quite there yet. But at least I want to be able to share whatever comes through my head. And I want to share that for now. And maybe I can get some assistance. I don't know. Maybe I just have to do it all just like everybody else. They're so good with their technology. They know exactly how to do with the editing. I'll go for that later. But for right now, this is good enough. Okay? Well, I'll talk to you guys later. Have a blessed day. Bye.